Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating and somewhat mysterious topic, the apocalypse and fulfilled prophecies today. If you've ever found yourself wondering if the things that are happening in the world today have something to do with the ancient prophecies, you're in the right place. Before we go any deeper, let's get a better understanding of what apocalypse and prophecies actually mean. You may be thinking of major disasters or dramatic endings, but there is much more to these words than movies and stories can show. The word apocalypse comes from ancient Greek and means revelation, something that reveals the unknown, especially revelations of a divine nature. What about prophecy? Well, it's basically a prediction or a message that is believed to come from a supernatural source, many often associated with the destiny of humanity. So in this video, not only will we explore some of these prophecies and how they connect, or not, to current events, but we will also discuss the impact they have on all of us, our beliefs, and even our daily actions. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning of our journey exploring the mysterious and often misinterpreted world of prophecies and apocalypse. Let's together discover what these ancient messages can mean for us today, and how we can use them to better understand our world. Ready? So let's go. So, is everyone ready for some word archaeology? Today, we're going to dig deep into the meaning of two terms that seem straight out of an adventure movie: apocalypse and prophecies. But what do they really mean? Mean in real life? Let's find out. Let's start with apocalypse. Usually hidden. What about prophecies? That's an easy one to see in the movies. Someone who predicts the future, right? But let's go further. A prophecy is basically a message that is believed to come from a supernatural source. It can be a warning, a guide for the future, or even a challenge to change our current path. So when we talk about prophecies and apocalypse, we're not just talking about the end times or catastrophic visions. We're talking about receiving messages that can help us better understand what's happening around us and what could happen in the future. You see, throughout history, different cultures have used these messages to understand their worlds and guide their communities. It's a way of linking the past, present, and future into a single narrative. So, does it make sense now? I think the next time we hear about apocalypse or prophecies, we'll be able to see it with different eyes, right? How about sharing your ideas in the comments? I'd love to know what you guys think.
Hey, Gong.
Today we're going on a trip back in time. Yes, we're going to explore some of the most intriguing prophecies throughout history. Did you know that many cultures have their own prophecies? Let's check out some of the most famous ones and see what happened. First, let's go to the Mayans. They had a calendar that many thought predicted the end of the world in 2012. Well, we're all here, so it wasn't quite like that, right? But the truth is that the calendar just marked the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. Now, let's jump to medieval Europe with the prophecies of Nostradamus. He wrote hundreds of quatrains that many believe predict events from wars to natural disasters. Some interpretations are a little, shall we say, creative, but it's fascinating to see how people connect these words to current events. And we can't forget biblical prophecies, of course. From predictions about nations and kings to the apocalypse, many of these prophecies are studied and interpreted to this day. They continue to influence the faith and ideas of many people around the world. These are just a few examples of how different cultures have tried to understand and predict the direction of humanity. It's like an echo from the past, reaching us in the present and trying to tell us something about the future. So, what do you think of these prophecies? Have you ever heard of any of them? Share your favorite stories or prophecies in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more explorations like this. Hey, everyone! Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to connect the past with the present. Have you ever wondered how those ancient prophecies we talked about before could be related to what's happening in the world right now? Let's dive into this investigation together. First, look at climate change, something many prophecies seem to predict. From severe droughts to devastating storms, many believe these events were heralded centuries ago as warning signs for humanity. What about conflicts and tensions between nations? There are prophecies that talk about wars that could be seen as preludes to larger conflicts. Some people interpret current events like these tensions in Asia or the Middle East as fulfillment of these ancient messages. Now, let's talk about technology. Yes, even technological innovations were mentioned in some prophetic interpretations as signs of a new era or even a possible technological apocalypse. Curious, right? Of course, it's crucial to remember that the connection between prophecies and real events often depends on very personal and sometimes controversial interpretations. It's not an exact science, but it's fascinating to see how different people and cultures read the signs of the times. And you, what do you think about all this? Do you believe that ancient prophecies have something to say about our time? Share your opinion and let's talk in the comments. Oh, and if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more discussions like this. Hi everyone. Today we're going to dive into a topic that generates a lot of debate: the different interpretations of prophecies and the controversies they bring. It's a minefield of opinions, but I promise we'll navigate this fascinating discussion together. On the one hand, we have those who see prophecies as direct, incontrovertible messages about the future. They believe that every word has a specific meaning that is unfolding right before our eyes. On the other side of the spectrum, there are skeptics. They argue that many prophecies are vague and open to interpretation, and that we can fit virtually any modern event into them if we are creative enough. And we cannot ignore the impact of these interpretations. They can shape public policy, influence the decisions of world leaders, and even affect how people vote or where they choose to live. Yes, believe it or not, prophecies still have power today. But here's the real question: how can we know which interpretation, if any, is correct? History is full of examples of prophecies that were interpreted in ways that led to major errors in judgment. So what do you guys think about this? Should prophecies be taken seriously as guides for the future? Or should we see them more as reflections on our collective fears and hopes? Let's open up this debate in the comments, and I'm super curious to know your opinion. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the discussion and subscribe to the channel to explore these mysteries together. See you next time. Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about how prophecies, especially those about the apocalypse, really affect our everyday lives. Have you ever stopped to think about the impact of these ancient ideas on modern society? Let's dive into it together. Across the world, prophecies shape not only beliefs but also actions. For example, some people make important life decisions, such as getting married, having children, or even moving countries, based on their interpretations of ancient prophecies. But it's not just on a personal level that prophecies have power. They can influence entire policies. Governments and political leaders sometimes use prophecies to justify public decisions or policies, especially those related to environmental or national security issues. And then we have media and entertainment. Movies, books, TV shows. Many use the theme of prophecies to create stories that capture our imagination and sometimes feed our deepest fears about the future. This all makes us wonder: are prophecies just reflecting our fears and hopes, or are they actively shaping how we see the world and act in it? It's a fine line between inspiration and influence. And you, how do you see the impact of prophecies on your life and the society around you? Do the stories we hear about the future motivate or worry us? Let's talk more about this in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories and opinions. Don't forget to like if you liked our chat today and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next conversations. See you next time. Hi, everyone. Today we're going to look at prophecies from a slightly different angle. We're going to talk about how science and skepticism view these ancient predictions. Does it all boil down to coincidences, or is there something more? Let's find out together. Science, as you know, is based on observation, experimentation, and evidence. And when it comes to prophecies, most scientists adopt a skeptical stance. They question: can we really predict the future? Is there evidence to support these claims? Skeptics point out that many prophecies are vague or ambiguous, which allows for wide interpretation. They argue that we often connect the dots only after something happens, a phenomenon known as confirmation bias, where we only pay attention to the evidence that support our beliefs. But that doesn't mean that science completely discards the concept of prediction. In fact, scientists make predictions all the time, especially in fields like meteorology, economics, and even volcanology. The difference is in the method. They use data and models rather than interpretations of ancient texts. So what does all this tell us? Well, it reminds us that while science and skepticism may not support the idea of supernatural prophecies, they do value prediction based on evidence and data. This helps us make informed decisions and better understand the world around us. And you, what do you think of this scientific perspective on prophecies? Do you think skepticism is important? Or do you feel like we miss something essential when we look at everything only through the lens of science? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation. Don't forget to like the video if you liked our discussion today, and subscribe for more explorations between science and myths. See you later. Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at a different side of prophecies, the spiritual and the philosophical. Many people see prophecies not just as predictions of the future, but as profound messages about our existence. Let's dive into these deeper waters together. From a spiritual perspective, prophecies are seen as guides, teaching us how to live in harmony or warning us about paths to avoid. They are considered a connection with the divine, a way of receiving spiritual guidance that transcends time and space. And philosophically? Well, philosophers often use prophecies to explore questions about destiny versus free will. They invite us to think, are we destined to follow a predetermined path, or can we choose our own course? These questions lead us to ponder the purpose of life and the meaning of our actions. It's fascinating to see how prophecies can influence our daily decisions, our beliefs, and even our worldview. So whether you are a spiritual, philosophical, or just curious person, prophecies offer rich food for thought. They challenge us to look beyond the obvious and question what it means to live a meaningful life. So, what do you think about this? How do prophecies touch your life on a deeper level? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. I'm very interested to hear from you. Don't forget to like if you found inspiration in this video and subscribe for more discussions like this. See you next time. Hi everyone. Today we're going to look ahead and explore what some of the brightest minds and deep thinkers have to say about the future. Yes, we're talking about modern predictions based on ancient prophecies and new theories. Prepare for a journey into tomorrow. Over the centuries, prophecies have always tried to give us a peek at what's to come. Today, we have a mix of old and new perspectives that try to do the same. From apocalyptic visions to technological utopias, predictions for the future have never they were so diverse. Let's consider, for example, predictions about artificial intelligence. Some thinkers believe that AI will revolutionize everything in our lives, while others see this as a possible singularity scenario, where machines can surpass human intelligence. What do you think? And we can't forget climate change. Many see ancient prophecies as warnings of natural disasters, which seem increasingly real with recent extreme weather events. Are we paying attention to these signs? Regardless of what you believe about predictions and prophecies, it's undeniable that they make us think about the big questions. How should we prepare for the future? Are we making the right decisions for ourselves and future generations? And now I want to hear from you. What kind of future do you imagine? And how do predictions, whether scientific or prophetic, influence your choices today? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's open a dialogue about our tomorrow. If you enjoyed exploring these ideas about the future, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. There's always something new on the horizon, and together we can discover more. See you next time. Hi everyone. We've reached the end of our journey exploring the fascinating world of prophecies and what they mean for us today. I hope you found insights and inspiration along the way. But before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on it all what we discussed. We explored everything from the origins of prophecies and how they were interpreted throughout history, to the modern implications of these visions of the future. We saw how science and philosophy approach the topic and how prophecies still impact our lives and decisions. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? How do the prophecies touch your lives? Are there any that you find particularly significant or troubling? And how do they influence your day-to-day actions? Share your stories and opinions in the comments. Let's continue this conversation and learn from each other. Each point of view is a piece of this great human puzzle. Thank you very much for following this series. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell so you don't miss our next videos. We are always bringing new topics and discussions that promise to provoke our minds and stimulate our hearts. Until next time, everyone, stay curious, always question and explore the world around you. Bye and be safe.